It is the sound that makes fugitives just a little bit nervous throughout Northeast Ohio. It is time for Cuyahoga's Most Wanted. Every week we partner with Crime Stoppers of Cuyahoga County, the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department, to feature 3 fugitives on the run. These are people charged with serious crimes. In some cases, they've already pleaded guilty, but they didn't show up to sentencing, which means they are fugitives. There are warrants out for their arrest, and you can help clean up our community. Let's bring in, as we do every week, Detective Red Dyer from the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department. Detective, we were off for a couple of weeks. We had a holiday last week, but it's good to have you back.
Thank you, Dan. Crime doesn't rest, so neither should we.
There you go. I love that. Let's get to our cases today. Our third case is one that just really makes your eyes open. We're going to throw this phrase out there. I'm fired. No, you're fired. A woman who was fired from her job at BW3's Buffalo Wild Wings in Fairview Park, and her response to that firing is a little intense, we'll put it that way. That'll be our third fugitive. But let's get to our first one, Keandre Collins. What do we know?
Well, Dan, what we know is that in January of this year, Mr. Collins walked out of his house to engage in a shootout with 2 individuals. Very scary, serious situation we're talking about. In fact, one of the individuals was actually shot in the chest. He failed to appear for court, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. He's approximately 5'9" and 150 pounds, and was last known to be staying in the 10,000 block of Mount Auburn Avenue in the city of Cleveland.
Obviously, he's not facing murder charges, so that person did survive being shot in the chest, but he is facing some very serious charges. In fact, I want to read through that list very quickly. Pull it out here. He's facing felony assault with a firearm, that's ×3, discharge of a firearm near or on or near a prohibited premise. That's oftentimes when there is a school in the area. Next, he's facing domestic violence charges as well as endangering children, which tells us there were kids in the area at the time of that shooting. Red, let's get to our second case today, Zachary Benna. What do we know?
Well, Dan, what we know is that in April of this year, Zachary Benna is alleged to have cut the victim over the eye with a folding knife during an argument. The victim actually required multiple sutures at the hospital, so very serious charges we're talking about. He failed to appear for court, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. He's approximately 5'5" and 137 pounds. He was last known to be staying in the 6700 block of York Road in the city of Parma Heights.
And we're going to take that quick break, but when we come back, a very serious aggravated arson charge after someone was fired from their job. Not sure that's an appropriate response. We'll be back in just 60 seconds. And welcome back to Cuyahoga's Most Wanted. It is time to get to our third and final case. This one's going to shock people as far as this woman's response to being fired. I spoke with the Fairview Park Police Department this morning. They confirmed that she was working at the Buffalo Wild Wings at the Westgate Shopping Center when she was terminated. I'm not going to give too much more away because that's the job of Detective Red Dyer. Let's get to the case of Crystal Varon. What do we know?
Well, Dan, in February of this year, Crystal Varon pled guilty to arson and vandalism. According to reports in that case, she went into the restroom of the Buffalo Wild Wings in Fairview Park after being terminated from her employment at the establishment. Another employee entered shortly after she exited the restroom and discovered a fire. She failed to appear for court, and a warrant was issued for her arrest. She's approximately 5'6" and 200 pounds. Was last known to be staying in the 100 block of Oakwood Drive in Bellet, Ohio.
I did look up Bellet, Ohio. It is about an hour southeast of Akron. Not sure why she was employed at Fairview Park or where she was staying at the time, but let's just say when you are fired from your job, it is not appropriate to then go into the bathroom and set the place on fire. Obviously didn't do a ton of damage, and she is now pleaded guilty to aggravated arson and vandalism charges. Red, when we start thinking about all three of our fugitives this week, you need the Cuyahoga County Department, Sheriff's Department, our detectives, our law enforcement all over Northeast Ohio really need the help of the public. And why do we do this segment every week?
Well, Dan, as we discuss every week, we recognize the value in the eyes and ears of our community. We understand that people want to help solve these crimes, help clean up their neighborhoods and communities while remaining completely anonymous, getting justice for these victims, and it opens up the potential for a possible reward.
Yeah, let's talk about the reward process. People might be a little nervous. I don't want my name showing up in some court record because I turned in a woman that's already pleaded guilty to aggravated arson. I don't want her to come to my house and light my house on fire, but I would like some reward money and I would like her off the street. That's why Crime Stoppers works. It is one simple phone number and it is one phone call. What should people expect when they call Crime Stoppers?
Well, they should expect that we don't take down your name, your phone number, or any personal identifying information, and we don't record the phone calls. All the contact you have through us is referenced through an anonymous tip number that we provide to you when you contact us.
And that tip number is what's so important. It's a reference number. Think about when you have a package headed to your house and you want to track it. That's how you know you might be eligible for that reward. You might say, well, if I'm anonymous, how do I get that reward? You're going to be given a tracking number, a tip number, because you called in. So you call in 45 days after you've said, hey, I know where she's at. She's not down there near Akron. She's back up here in the Cleveland area. And you call back in 45 days, give them that tracking number. And if it was your tip that led to that arrest, you could be eligible for up to a $5,000 reward. Detective Red Dyer, when we talk about up to $5,000 for a reward, what do you like people to know?
That crime doesn't pay, but Crime Stoppers does.
Crime Stoppers does pay, and it pays you not just with the reward money, but think about what you're doing for the community when you turn in a fugitive that's on the run. You are making us all a little bit safer. Detective, another week, another three fugitives on the run that have now been featured. We have a 70% capture rate, whether directly or indirectly, of being featured right here on Cuyahoga's Most Wanted. 70% of the people that we have featured have since been captured and are in front of a judge where they deserve to be. Innocent until proven guilty, but when you are facing charges like aggravated arson, shouldn't be on the street. You need to be in a courtroom. Detective, thanks for the time this week. Let's go get them.
It's been a pleasure.
All right, take care. That's going to wrap up Cuyahoga's Most Wanted for this week. Again, let's look at that tip number, 216-252-7463. If you need to remember it, it's 216-25-CRIME is the number. 216-25-CRIME is also a way you can remember that phone number. If we have any other breaking news, it'll be here on our digital properties. Our 11 o'clock news coming up in just about 20 minutes on Cleveland's 43, and then, of course, our noon news on Channel 19. Until then, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News. This has been Cuyahoga's Most Wanted. All righty, Red, everyone, thank you for the help this week. That was phenomenal.
Thank you, Dan. Pleasure, as always.
All right, brother, we'll see you next week.
See you then.
Take care.